It is 7 o'clock, and I want to welcome everybody to the select board meeting today. It's Monday, November 4th, 7 p.m. We kind of have a light agenda, but we're going to get into it. So we have the first item on the agenda is the 11/05/24 state election. What do we want to know about that?
What do we want to know? If you have not already voted, have already had, what did we say? 3,500 votes are already cast, so we have more than 50% are in at this point. But if you have not voted, come down to Town Hall tomorrow, the Veterans Memorial Building. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So come, your vote counts.
Please,
Voice matters.
please, everybody that's come to these meetings and doesn't think that maybe there's enough information out there. We put the information out there. Now it's up to you to come and vote. Please be advised that the override question is question 6, right?
On the back?
It's on the
Is
back.
it on the back or is it on the back?
On the
Nope.
second page,
It's on the
back.
of the ballot. It's at the end of the 5 Massachusetts state questions. And if you don't know what it is, look at some of the old meetings, get some information on it, but please come out and vote. And please know also that the override question requires 2 votes. This is the first vote. If it passes, then you will be asked to vote again at the beginning of town meeting, which will be held on November 19th. If it does not pass, we will not have a vote on November 19th. That will be the end of it. So,
And just to remind everybody that this is a presidential and state election, we will not have official results until November 15th. So if the vote is very close for the override, we have to all hold our breath until the 15th, until all of the overseas ballots and anything else that's postmarked has made it in. So we will not know. We will have unofficial results, but not official results. So just so that people are aware.
so will be, yes, Jim, can you,
I'm sorry. It's sorry.
It's all right. Questions
Jim's
are good.
before the exchange, what would the gap need to be before we could actually say, yes, we can publish the results or not?
Well, we're gonna,
100,
We
200?
will still be unofficial, but we can assume that if it's
I mean,
more
they
than
don't
100.
expect more than 100, say, votes
Right.
to come in after tomorrow.
So-
So it's more, if it's less than 100, it's still really unknown.
Understood.
If
And
we're
just,
again like the spring, then we're gonna help hold our breath for a little bit.
Yeah, and just so there's no vast conspiracy theory about anything, these are military serving overseas who have to have their
Correct.
ballots shipped in. And I really would hate to disenfranchise military serving overseas.
Yes.
As I'm preparing to read the Veterans Day
of
proclamation.
all the people who want to disenfranchise, those are not them.
Yes.
Correct, so.
Okay, so that's that. Do we need to talk about the special, the annual town meeting and special town meeting, or did you already just do that, Karen?
Yeah, just to announce that on Tuesday, November 19th at 7:30 p.m. The special town meeting and the fall annual town meeting are scheduled to begin at that time, that evening.
Okay, Karen, one more time, tomorrow, the polls are open from when to when?
7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And did you want to say anything about the parking situation, or no? Just talk where you can.
Park where you can, and we've asked all employees to
Oh,
try
right.
to park at a distance if they're physically able to do so, so we're gonna try to keep the parking open. We will have a few police details here. We are expecting still having a good turnout, even despite our early turnout. So please come down.
Yes, a good thing about Millis is apparently we vote, which is wonderful. We never have a problem at town meeting. We never have a problem getting people out to vote. So that's a great thing. Okay, so next, what?
Field of flags.
Field of flags. You wanted me to talk about that?
Or do you want me to talk about that?
Oh, were you going to?
Sure. No, you reminded me
mentioned
to
it.
do
Oh, well, I mentioned it, but you're a Lion, aren't you a kind of
Yes.
a Lions Club person?
I am.
So talk about
Okay.
it.
So every year, there's a field of flags that the Millis Lions put out on the Veterans Memorial Building lawn out front. And you can purchase, or sponsor rather, a flag for $10. And it could be in memory of somebody or in honor of somebody. And you can do that, we do have a, paper copy of the form that you could fill out and send into the Lions, or from the Lions website, you can pay, your $10 there if you wanted to sponsor a flag.
Tell them who it benefits. the
Oh,
Fisher House.
yes, it benefits the Fisher House Boston, and it's a home away from home where military families can stay while loved ones receiving in-house treatment at one of the medical centers.
Yeah,
And pass that down, I will scan it in.
yeah, this is a terrific thing.
The
Karen's
flags are
gonna,
already out.
yeah, Karen's gonna post this on our website, and then you can link it, I guess, maybe to the Lions Club.
They look beautiful. I saw them this morning going in.
So that's a great thing. Okay. Past 7 o'clock, read and sign the Veterans Day Proclamation. We did that?
Do you
No,
want
we
to talk
haven't done
about the Veterans Day celebration as well?
Sure.
Yes, let's
So
announce
the
that.
Veterans Day celebration is on Monday, November 11th. It's always on the 11th. Honor our military veterans for their service to the defense of our great nation, the United States of America. From 8:30 to 10:30 a.m., there will be a free breakfast for veterans. To all who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces, it will be served at the American Legion, Post 208 in Millis, Mass. At 11 a.m., they have the formal ceremony. It's held by the World War I Memorial, which is located across the street and in front of the American Legion, Post 208. Case of rain, it will be moved indoors. And this information will also be available on the homepage of our website. There's lots of information on the homepage of our website for anyone who is ever looking. So that's it.
Okay, and Craig, you and I are going to be there, correct?
We will.
Because you're gonna read it.
I'm supposed to read it
Are you
tonight too.
practicing? Oh, my God.
As the
I'm supposed to read it tonight so that we can vote on it, and then I will read it again on the
Well,
11th,
maybe you'll,
and we will not vote on it.
okay.
All right, Town of Millis Veterans Day 2024. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the first Veterans Day proclamation, calling on our nation to pay appropriate homage to the veterans of all of its wars who have contributed so much to the preservation of this nation. Our nation has fought and continues to fight battles around the world. The words of that first proclamation still ring true. Let us solemnly remember the sacrifice of all those who fought so valiantly on the sea, in the air, and on foreign shores to preserve our heritage of freedom, and let us reconsecrate ourselves to the task of promoting and enduring peace, so that their efforts shall not have been in vain. Remember with somber and grateful hearts those who have served the United States of America with distinction and valor as sailors, soldiers, aviators, Marines, and offer our sincere prayers for those who continue to defend the principles on which our nation was founded. The state of Massachusetts is home to thousands of our nation's military families. We are proud to recognize our country's veterans and extend the appreciation of our citizens to those who wear the uniforms of the United States Armed Forces and serve on the front lines, preserving the freedom and liberty. We, the Town of Millis Select Board, do hereby proclaim Monday, November 11th, 2024 as Veterans Day in the Town of Millis, and encourage all townspeople to observe and appreciate the sacrifice and contributions of our veterans who fought for peace and defended democracy in our land and abroad.
That it?
That's all.
I move that the board approve and sign the 2024 Veterans Day proclamation as read.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, next, the Green Communities Report, annual report. Bob?
Thank you very much. Bob Weiss, the energy manager of Town Millis. Tonight I'm here to ask the board to approve and to have the chair sign our annual report to Green Communities Program and for 2024. And I'd like to quickly point out two extra good results of this report. The first is on page 2 of the report, criteria 23. I'll just explain it very briefly. This year we had a 21% reduction in energy use from our base year, which was 2015. I think this is remarkable because, one, it's taken us 9 years to achieve this. This has been a goal that we've been going after since then. It does involve a few extra rewards from the green community, so that's good. But if you consider all the expansion that we've had in the last 9 years, it is a remarkable achievement. I would like to thank my colleagues on the staff and also the Millis Energy Committee because of the perseverance that have been involved with all of this. The second thing of note, you'll notice on the last page of the report, shows that 28.5% of electricity that we have used in 24 was produced on site. We have 3 buildings with rooftop solar arrays at the Clyde Brown School, at the elementary school, the high school, and at the library. And all in all, the town uses 85% of its electric use is clean energy. That's a tremendous advance from where you think we were back in 2015. And it also helps put us on the road to alignment with the state's goal of net zero energy in the year 2050. So I ask that the board approve and have the chair sign.
Ready?
I move that the board approve and authorize the chair to sign the Green Communities Annual Report Summary for fiscal year 24.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob.
Great.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, next.
Seven ten it is.
Yeah.
You want to do the hearing?
I move to open the fiscal levy year 2025 tax classification hearing.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay, so we're gonna hear from Terry
Terry
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, the principal assessor in Millis. And tonight we would like to ask the board to vote on a single or a split tax rate for fiscal year 2025.
Is that it?
It felt like there was more.
You did on like.
I did send a letter to the select office that breaks down the residential, commercial, industrial, and personal property percentages and values. I can read that for you if you like.
That would be helpful, I think.
Sure.
Residential is 92.4142% of our tax base. The commercial is 4.6017% of our tax base. The industrial properties are 0.9535% of our tax base. And personal property is 2.0306% of our tax base.
Wow.
And that is
Yeah.
why the Board of Assessors is recommending that we remain with a single rate.
Right.
Right.
I knew we had a small commercial tax base, but I always thought it was 7 or 8%. It's 4%.
Yeah, it's 7, it's about 7% or 8% for everything.
Right.
other than- Yeah.
But is
Right. Okay, well, I've read up on all of that and I concur that we need to remain a single tax rate community. So you have any comments?
No, I think that we've said it repeatedly, until you get to about 15%, most communities don't split. In fact, we started looking at lists and we don't have a lot that have split. We don't have any that,
None around us.
yeah, none around
Right
us. Built split, but nobody around us split with anything close to what we have. Yeah, and a split tax rate means we charge more to commercial
Right,
and less to residential, but then that has the side effect of potentially discouraging commercial coming in, especially when you're this low. I have asked the assessor's office to do a full presentation explaining it in much more detail at a later date. Because I don't think there's anything to delay this. It doesn't make any sense, but I think for everybody's education, it'd be very, very
yeah,
helpful.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to make a motion?
Well, it's a public hearing,
Hearing.
so if anyone from the public.
Oh, anybody from the public? Come on up, Scott.
stuff easy for
It doesn't have to be quick.
it's been this way for years and it will remain this way until we get more, businesses. And that's something down the road, hopefully, we'll get that will help it. Until we get those businesses, it will remain this way, fortunately. So, thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Anybody else? Lori?
Lauren Barnes, Curve Street. I just wanted to ask the assessor if you are in touch with, or if the select board is in touch with any of our legislators, since Representative Marina DeRosa is working on a legislative level with the town of Hopkinton to examine ways to pull off the school portion of taxes for some level of seniors and above, which is something that is done in other states as just a general policy. And I understand the whole, well, if that happens, I mean, there's a whole mechanism, obviously. And so since it is being examined within our district, I think it should be raised here, since it's very much the topic of conversation right now in our town.
Okay,
I talk to him fairly regularly and I'll reach out to him again about
Okay.
that specifically. That's not a topic we've talked about specifically.
okay. Okay,
I'll make a note.
anybody else out there? Nope, going once? Okay,
I move to close the fiscal levy year 2025 tax classification hearing.
Second,
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous?
I move that the board approve a single tax rate for fiscal levy year 2025.
Correct?
second, making a note, I said make a note.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Terry. Thanks, Jody. Are we at,
Yeah, capital planning.
It's not a hearing, so he can.
oh, fine.
Start early.
Okay, so, we have what do we have? I'm afraid you're gonna make fun of me because I just yelled at you. The capital planning committee report presentation. Hi, John.
Hi,
Thanks for having me here tonight. This is our semi-annual visit.
Identify yourself.
I'm John Barry, 6 Paddock Lane, and Chair of the Capital Planning Committee.
Perfect.
So we've shared with the committee, or the board rather, our latest report for the Capital Planning Committee. And just as a quick reminder, so this committee was formed back in 2017, so it's been a little bit over 7 years now. Our role is to try to compile a list of all the capital needs for the town as best we can, working with all the departments. We're looking out for the next 10 plus years. And then as capital requests come in that may or may not come to the warrant, our committee has a process by which we assess those and try to rank them from highest priorities. So for this cycle, we got 6 requests, 3 of which we concluded were highest priorities for the town, 2 were medium priorities, lower priority. And so I'll just give a quick rundown of those. So the highest priorities were 3 items were taser replacements for the police department, which was about $96,000. Turnout gear for the fire department, replacing existing gear. They have to do that every so many years. That's about $36,000. And then 2 vans, special education vans for the school department, totaling about $114,000 roughly. Again, we've got a criteria that we go through. Those all rank quite high, that criteria. I will say the tasers and the turnout gear, those have been part of a well laid out plan by the police and the fire departments. So we kind of knew those were coming. We've known about the sped vans as well. I think the school department got a little bit out of cycle with getting those vans replaced, but I think they're back at a place where they're going to be regularly replacing those as they need to be replaced. 2 items on the medium priority list were a dump truck for the DPW. That was about $280,000. And then an aerial boom lift for the town buildings, about $53,000. The dump truck is an interesting one, I'm sure. So that the DPW does need a new dump truck. That existing truck is quite old, has a lot of miles on it. However, there was some urgency to do it sooner rather than later because of some new rules going into place for 2025, where it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to purchase a diesel dump truck.
Yeah.
It's a good thing Bob left the room before you said that. You're breaking his heart. Yeah.
So, again, so
We'll
there's.
park it in your yard.
Yeah.
Hard to say financial benefit, but avoidance of cost is probably a better way to say it, by buying now as opposed to waiting.
And the other truck is 30 years old.
And the other truck is 30 years old with lots of, so they do need a new truck. It's just maybe 6-12 months earlier than they would have. And then the lower priority is an interesting one, which is the repairs to the Lindsay Millis building. Part of the reason this is a lower priority is candidly our assessment process doesn't really work for this kind of a thing. This is a bit of a different sort of an item compared to fire trucks and dump trucks and those sorts of things. So it did score lower on our priority system.
Even though it's 20 years older than the dump truck. I'm just throwing that out there.
At least 20.
Yeah.
That said, we certainly, as a committee, we recognize the importance of the building. We do hope that the town can find ways to manage that building and something. But just per our, we wanted to be as objective as we could, and our existing lower score. The other thing we've included as part of our report is the master list that we've got of all the capital requests that we know about. Those total roughly $134 million. The largest item in that list, which has been on there since a year ago anyways, is $90 million related to the potential, let's call it disposition of the middle high school, since we still don't know exactly what that's going to look like. And that was based on discussions with the school department and finance committee to try to get a reasonable guess of what it might cost. That could be higher or more than that as a tenant's ultimate cost. I think that's about it that I wanted to share here, but I'm happy to take any questions.
What do you got,
I don't have any questions.
Craig?
I've spent every Thursday night for
I know.
2 months doing this. I have absolutely no
I would
questions.
imagine.
So as someone that goes to these meetings, Madam Chair, on a pretty regular basis, I just want to commend the committee
Yeah.
again. for its fine. It's a really great working committee, very effective, and does a great job
Yeah.
really reviewing these projects and giving them their rankings. So thank the members of the committee and the chairman for all the work in regards to that.
I mean, not for nothing, but the 133 million, if 90 of it, and there's only 40 left over to fix all the ills of Millis, that's pretty good.
For the next 10 years, yeah.
Well, listen.
It is, to be fair, there are things not on that.
I know, but
Yeah, and I think that one of the things we did talk about was trying to come up with a way to recognize there's things that you can't compare a taser or a fire turnout gear to restoration of a historic building.
Right.
So there needs to be some way we can not have it score a record low score because it is equally important to the town.
listen, it's record low. It's
Yeah.
okay. I don't
But-
hold grudges.
Yeah, But it's just that you're saying what public safety or
Right.
Cost savings.
cost savings and the answer is no. Benefit the community though. We
Yes.
did score a point.
Can I get a point for this?
But because it's equally important, but this does not address anything that might be classified in the world of art.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But no, I have no questions. So what do we do?
I move that the board accept the capital plan committee report from November 2024 as submitted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, next. Review and approve the finance office consultant contract?
What?
You have an old agenda.
Oh, give me the new.
I don't need an agenda. Oh, I've got an agenda. There you go.
Thanks, Greg. Assign fall annual town meeting articles, my favorite part.
Yes.
Okay. Who, you wanna
Yeah, I'll lead it if you want.
go?
All right. So, unpaid bills, I can take it.
Okay.
Unless you really want that one, Craig.
No, I was putting E's and I just realized I can't.
No,
Gotta do last names now.
I can,
Yeah.
I can also do the operational budget adjustments, right? I can do that, right? Right.
I'm not doing that one.
Okay. And then Ellen, do you want to take,
I do, I mean, only because the Lansing Millis is in there. And
so you want capital?
I do, but you do.
No, I don't, no,
You don't.
no, they're you.
Well,
So
Yeah,
Ellen,
so
why
you
don't we
go
take
community
3, 4, and 5?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, 3, 4, and 5.
Actually, I'm on the capital committee and aside from the Lansing Millis building, the rest of it's all straight capital. So I wouldn't mind taking 5.
Okay, so you're gonna take 1 and 2, I'm gonna take 3 and 4, you wanna take 5 and 6?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay,
yep.
Everybody loves somebody who proposes roads.
yes,
Okay.
okay, next,
7 is
Well, that's
the
easy
police
peasy.
cruiser. You want that?
yeah, it's easy peasy.
You think, you really think so?
We're not asking for money, right?
We're not asking for money, but you're gonna say that about 8 times.
Whenever you don't ask for
How
money.
about supplemental borrowing for PFAS? Anybody have any strong feelings?
I'll take that if I need to.
So I'm taking 7, 3, 4, 7, yep.
All right, we're on 9 now. I'll take 9 because nobody knows what it is.
I have no idea what that is,
It restricts the fun investing that we can do.
okay? I'll take 10 and 11.
Okay,
For all you out there, that's the sale of those little pieces of land we've been talking about, the leftover pieces.
12.
I can take, I can take
That's
12,
easy.
yeah. And I can take the
13 or 14?
13,
Well,
14.
you want 14.
I want 14 for sure.
Right.
Spent 2 years of my life doing that.
I can take 15 and 16.
Wait a minute, 12, 13, 14 is Craig.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna need to take more stuff.
well, I can, oh, okay, how many have you got?
Right now. 3,
3,
and you have 1,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I've got 6.
And you have 6,
The
so.
last 3 are yours.
Well,
we
you,
have
you got
15,
15 and 16, which I can take,
All right, and then I'll take 17, 18, 19.
sure.
Sounds great.
Do you
19.
speak to the, do you speak to the?
Sorry.
Well, we only speak if there's, this is just, if there's questions, who's going to handle those?
6, 7. How many you have, Craig, 6 or 7? Doesn't matter.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 for.
I could take 19 if you
You
want
take
to.
19, because I think. husband has that.
Take 19.
I have.
And what, so he's got 7, what do you got, Aaron?
All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think it's fair enough.
It's fine,
We rarely, if ever, have to speak, so we have to speak.
it's
That's
fine,
true. That's true.
it's fine. Okay,
I wrote all that down if you need it.
okay,
I can send it to you guys from Aaron as a reminder.
okay, liaison updates?
I have one,
I don't think I have any.
Since last meeting, I got nothing.
really.
Just last week.
It's just me,
It was last week.
What do you got?
cemetery,
I'm
my
excited.
favorite.
Oh, hey,
Yes.
well, we went to the thing, does that count?
No, that doesn't count.
Okay.
So I
We-
went to the
we-
cemetery.
Oh, are they excited? Really? I was the one before.
That was fun.
Good at all.
Go ahead.
Well, we talked about differentiating, well, there's the new section G and differentiating, there's a baby section. Hopefully that doesn't get any bigger than it is, but to
Hopefully.
differentiate that from the other section, talking about some plantings,
Yeah.
maybe a bench, things like that. Also talked about maybe adding some form of a stairway sort of down, I don't know if that's E, down the bottom.
Way over, way back?
Way back,
Yep,
yeah.
I know where, cause
Yeah.
you got a switchback now, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
And then, a walkway or a driveway, so to speak, up into the new section G. And then some talk about some trees and stuff like that.
okay.
It's always fascinating, and the people on that committee know so much
Yeah.
about the town. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I actually lied. I was just letting you
Oh,
know first, so I could
really?
really drop it. No.
Thanks.
No, I went to the school building meeting where they presented the
Right.
new high school
Right.
plans, the renovations of the high school plan. No, I didn't go to the finance
You
side.
just watched it? You didn't even watch it?
There are tools you can use. You can do a lot of different things.
Okay.
Multitask. There's only an audience for it, but they presented the plans for the renovation of the high school. Very preliminary, they're still gathering. They don't have a preferred option. They have 6 or 8 options they're looking at. It ranges from, we spend enough money to stop the leaks, upgrade the windows, modify the bathrooms to make them livable, all those little things, and that's about 50 million bucks, best case.
Yeah,
It'll be done over a 10-year period, best case. So it's like the next 10 years, we're renovating the high school. Then it goes up to a slightly better option, which is 80 million bucks. And then it goes up to a full renovation that'll actually meet our ed plan. The first 2 do not meet our education plan stuff. So it's probable the state won't participate in funding those.
Right, so if we do the renovation plans
Yes,
with the MSBA reimbursement, we're probably gonna end up putting out the same amount of money that we put out if we just did what was absolutely required over 10 years.
right.
So you have
So-
to consider that in the
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah, so it's about $80 million to fix the high school and the $130 million plan. And everybody was clear, we'd only move forward with that if the state signs the contract that commits them to paying. It's not an if. We know what they're gonna pay. They've accepted us in the plan. They will pay 53% of the cost, but they subtract stuff from it. They only allow you 100,000 or some number for site work. The gym at the Clyde Brown is 1 square foot over the minimum the state would pay for because our architects just aren't that good. They couldn't find that last square foot. But we cut it as tight as we could on everything there. The bathrooms are tiled halfway up the walls because the state pays for halfway up the wall.
Yeah.
So, so by the time you do all the turnbacks and everything else that, where they won't cover it, it gets to about 40%. So I think that came in about 42%, but so we're saying 40% paid by the state. There'll be many more meetings. There'll be much more discussion. There'll be a vote a year from now, basically. So quite
is there
probable.
another meeting on the agenda like the one you just went to?
I will
You
check.
know?
I know they have planned to have another one, but we need to have another
It'll
one.
be a Zoom.
It'll be Zoom? Okay.
Oh,
Thanks.
right, they went
Yeah.
from yeah,
Well, right now it's listed as Zoom. We'll see if that continues or not, if we go live,
Right.
if we do both or whatever.
Right.
But the idea is to solicit feedback, and quite honestly, my view of it, there's advantages to Plan 4, 4B, 5, they're all variations on a theme, they all cost about $130 million, and at that point, my view is whatever works for the educators. I don't care if the gym gets converted to STEM and we build a new STEM lab, STEAM lab,
right,
or if they build a new STEAM lab and maintain the gym, whatever works for the educators. If it's $130 million, that's the number I care about. And again, it'll be with contract, it will be done. Money does go away if we don't use it. It does not continue forward. So I think November, a year from now, is when it'll be voted. If we do not vote on it, for it, some other town will be voted in to apply by the MSBA. And then we go,
how many years?
we're back on the list.
So
And
you don't know.
you don't know. It could be, 3 years, it could be 10 years.
Right,
So we just don't know. And as everybody knows, construction gets less and less expensive the longer you wait. Oh, wait, I got that backwards. It gets more and more expensive the longer you wait. So, $130 million project today in 10 years is not going to be $130 million. So, all that will be looked at. There'll be plenty of time to discuss it. And then there will be, the vote at, town meeting and a vote at the polls in probably November of next year. So,
okay, something to look forward to.
absolutely.
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yep,
Jim W. Prediction. I think we should put 2 more diesel dump trucks on the highway. Be like incandescent light bulbs.
Yeah. Well, if you can find them, we knew a guy who got us this one.
Mm,
Do you have a spare garage?
I know.
Yeah.
I'll build one, we can place it to the.
Yeah,
There was a financial management review report
Yep.
that
yeah.
got, apparently provided to the town a year ago. I knew nothing about it, couldn't find it on the website. Why would something like this not get published to the website?
We'll take a look at it.
We'll
I didn't
we'll
know
see.
it was on the
Well, you
website.
must be aware of it.
We're quite aware
Oh, yeah,
of it. I mean, there's
there's
8 recommendations on it, and there's been a lot of,
Discussed it.
yeah, so, let me just pull it up. for a
It's been on
second
the
here.
minutes that we want. Okay.
Well, let me just, the thing was, our town, finance director was retiring. We were hiring a new one. It
Okay.
didn't make sense to start anything on a financial review in the last 6 months of somebody's job tenure. So we are starting with Jody, but I think there were 8 recommendations on there, and if you give me just a moment,
There are.
because there were,
This is the thing they called us about, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a survey. So for instance, this expand the size of the select board. We put that out to town meeting, it was voted down.
Bundled with a whole bunch of things.
Well, the entire recommendations from the capital plan, from the, I'm sorry, charter planning committee was voted down.
Yeah.
And it was shut down on a technicality. We brought back pieces of it and we will continue to bring back pieces. We're not gonna bring it back
So
one
along
item at a
those
time.
lines,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
would it specifically be if the citizens wanted to actually have that on the
Have
next
what?
town meeting? Have, well, any example of this, we'll use the expand the select board to 5. I wanna know how we perhaps expedite the process of getting stuff done,
Well,
as opposed to waiting, that, going through, the town timelines type of thing. right?
Well, we've talked to Jim McCaffrey about that, who's kind of our expert on
I
it.
just want to caution you, this is not on the agenda.
I know,
This is not
no,
liaison
okay.
updates. You don't want to get too deep in the
Okay,
weeds
yeah.
here, but I'm-
Sorry. No, but we can't, but
But you can't discuss.
let me just leave it that we're aware of it, we'll discuss it, and we will have
We'll
a full
put it
meeting
the
on it
agenda.
in the future.
A couple of years ago, I suggested that there be a standing agenda line for citizen comment, input, questions. It's still not on the agenda. This would fit exactly.
I know, but we,
But the board would not be allowed to comment on those.
The board may allow comments.
yeah,
But the board cannot engage in a policy conversation, something that's not specifically on the agenda.
Right.
so to your point, you asked to have public comment period maybe, and we declined that request. We are not interested in that. Now, you're welcome to come up and call one of us or
Yeah.
call town hall and ask for something to be put on the agenda, and then we can discuss it.
And this will be on a future
And we will
agenda.
put this on.
Well, my biggest point is, why is this not published to the town?
Well, he just
Well,
explained it to
we
you.
thought it was on the
We thought
website,
it
but
was.
I will go check, we'll check on that.
Are there other reports that should be published to the town website?
We have a lot of reports on the town website.
Well,
So,
audits specifically are fairly serious.
yeah, I mean, this was a voluntary financial management audit that we had done through the Department of Revenue. We asked them to do it. And I thought it was on the town's website, but we'll go check. And sometimes sometimes I understand these things are hard to find on the website, but if we'll check, and either way, we'll put it in a more prominent place that it can be easy to
Yeah,
find.
I mean, it will be up by tomorrow for some.
Yeah.
My
And
last question would be, has been any actions on any of these line items or suggestions in the last year?
as a matter of fact, yes, but we're
not
not allowed to
discussing
go
it,
into
so-
discussion, but quite a bit of it is being acted on or isn't part of the select board's purview to act on. Some of these items on here specifically in our charter are done by other departments and other groups.
Understood.
Yeah.
You would have sort of jurisdiction of making sure these recommendations.
No, we would not for all of them. There's some of them that fall to the moderator, and it's his responsibility, and we have no control over the moderator and what actions the moderator takes.
And that's actually one of them, but,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Okay, we'll get there. Come on up,
All right, I am.
come on up.
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
So I just.
who are you?
Hi.
I know, but you have to tell the world who you are.
I know. Thank you for the reminder. Heidi Gilmore, 13 Evergreen Terrace.
Yeah.
And I had a couple questions relating to ClearGov. So I've been trying to
And we
educate.
can't answer that.
We can't get into that. We went too far with
We can't
Jim.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But you can call, I mean,
If you have questions of an administrative nature, you can certainly call us. If they're policy questions, you can either send an email to the board or to us, we'll forward it to the board. or you can ask for an item to be put on the agenda, and I'll forward that to the chair. But we just have to be careful with the open meeting law. We're not allowed to go into any policy discussions on anything that's not specifically on the agenda.
The reason why is to protect you. If we went into that and it was something you were interested in and we didn't have it on the agenda, you'd say, people would say, my gosh, you went into that, I didn't even know you were discussing that, I would have come to the meeting. So there's a reason why, it's not just, that's not to be mean, there's a reason why, but we're watched very closely for that stuff.
Okay, so
But if
just
you
so
have-
I can do the right thing, then I should put my questions and topics in an email to one of you or
Yeah,
all?
you can
Yeah,
send
you
it
sent to all of us, you sent to Mike and he sent it to
Chair
us.
Or myself, or.
If you go on, you can, each of our Millis emails are on there.
Yeah.
They come direct to us, or you can go direct
To
to
either of us.
either of them.
I can forward it on, and then.
But if it's just a question about like, where do I get some information? You don't
Yeah, that doesn't have to be at a meeting, you
Yeah.
can
You
come
can-
anytime.
call or email Karen directly, and she can tell you where to find it.
Yeah.
Okay, it basically has to do with updating the information that's there, bringing it current. But I'll put my questions
Yes,
and
please
the
do.
issues I've run into an email.
Please.
And that's split between two departments too. If you're asking anything on the school side, that's not administered by the town hall or the select board, that would go to the school committee.
Okay, that's good to know too, because
Yeah.
the school side of it isn't even visible.
Well, that's something that, yeah, something the school would probably have to
Yeah.
answer if you wanted to send an email to the superintendent or the business manager at the school. That's where I would direct it. And again, if you had questions about the ClearGov here, we would take them. We would probably forward those to the finance office and discuss it with them and get back to you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Anything else?
Good evening. I just wanted to.
Identify yourself again, Lori. I'm sorry. That's okay.
We're on the eve of a pretty seismic election locally. Flip your ballot over, folks.
Yeah.
Question 6 is on the side that you don't see, it's at first. So I wanted to acknowledge all the volunteers that have gotten us to this point. I wanted to acknowledge all the poll workers who are gonna put in a lot of time tomorrow. I wanted to acknowledge the town clerk's office that has been through change and has weathered the storm and done, I think, a heroic job. And they were dragging today, but they'll be on adrenaline tomorrow. And I wanted to say, as a member of this community, since I've been here since 1987, which and by Allen standards means I'm an interloper newbie. But I wanted to say that I've never seen such divisiveness in this town. And I'm very, very upset about it. And I think that the override tomorrow is not a referendum on public education. I don't think it's a referendum on motherhood, apple pie, or babies either. I think it is a referendum on financial management and community communications. And I think both of those are solvable. And you heard 2 prior speakers reference tools and documents that exist that are reports, that are guideposts to addressing change. And Millis has changed. And so I just wanted to stand before you and remind you that we had a communications and website committee. And it was disbanded after the then new website was put into place. But since communications and the use of social media is so prevalent, and we do have social media policies, I would recommend to the board to reinstate that as part of a post-election examination of how can we be more united. Because anybody can make data do what they wanted to do, but different groups are not entitled to their own sets of facts. And if you really dug to try and self-educate yourself going into the election tomorrow, it was my personal experience that there was a wide divergence of hard to find facts, but this is solvable. So I just hope what we come out with tomorrow is not people not talking to one another, not neighbors not being neighborly, and that we can all get along and be good human beings, but that some of the undercurrent of really tense communication that has surrounded question 6 in Millis is addressed by the leadership of the town. And I'm willing to volunteer to be part of whatever that solution may be.
I'm not, hold on, get back here. I'm not sure, I'm not understanding exactly what you're saying. Are you saying that there's the information on this override has not been,
It is my opinion that it has not been complete. It has been hard to find. And that, for example, as one example, the Department of Revenue provides a list of comparable communities. One of the things you might.
Wait, may I just stop for a minute?
yeah,
Unfortunately, 'cause
This
I would
isn't on
love
here
to
either.
get into this,
I
but
know.
I am not, and there's people who are watching who are
I
gonna
know.
file an open meeting complaint.
yeah, you're
And
right.
I'm not gonna, my motto in life, and I've told Jim to this, I am not a test case. I do not want to violate open
Right.
meeting. I don't want to go to court.
This isn't
I
on the
don't want to
agenda.
be Schultz
Right.
versus the town of, okay?
No, I know, but I just don't.
No,
Listen,
I-
we-
There's a lot that is confusing.
Okay.
Okay, we're done with it,
We're
Joe,
done,
because
we're
I'm not
done,
gonna
we're
be
done. All right, that's
violating
all
open
right.
meeting. Okay,
Yeah.
and this was on the agenda last week, by the way, just so it could have been discussed then.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we got left?
Approve the draft minutes from 10/21/24 select board meeting as presented.
Since I don't have an agenda, is that on the agenda?
Yes.
I second.
It's good. Unanimous.
Anything else, Madam Chair?
No, we just, the next one.
I move to enter into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the government's bargaining or litigating position. Massachusetts Coalition of Fleets Local 171 and SEIU Local 888. And to discuss strategy with respect to litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the government's litigating position, 114 Union Street. And to exit executive session for the sole purpose of adjourning the meeting.
Second,
Do we need to poll?
yes, you do.
We need to poll the board. Erin?
Aye.
I'm an aye.
Yes.
Aye. So it's been moved and seconded and we've been polled, so executive session.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See you, Scott. Good seeing you again.
You too. Huh? Oh, I'll be there tomorrow.
All right, excellent.
See you guys.
Yeah.